Hello everyone, welcome to pCloudy's webinar on continuous integration and continuous delivery. My name is Suyash Dubey, and before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping rules. Your line is currently muted, but you can submit your questions during the webinar through the chat option at the bottom of your screen. We will answer all your questions at the end of this webinar. This webinar is being recorded and we'll send the link of the recorded video so that you can share it with your colleagues. Today's webinar will be presented by Shoaib Ahmed, Senior Lead Consultant, Pre-Sales at pCloudy. He has a rich experience of 9 years in pre-sales for application delivery, managing portfolio, catering DevOps, automation, cloud, performance, and mobility. He has worked with organizations like Micro Focus, IBM, and Wipro in the past. Now I would like to pass the mic over to Shoaib.
Thank you so much, Shoesh, for the quick introduction. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining in this today's webinar. So, myself, Shoaib Ahmed, and I'm a pre-sales consultant with the pCloudy. So, today we'll discuss about the continuous integration and continuous delivery in this webinar. Okay, let's quickly look at the agenda. Today we will be covering in this webinar. We'll talk about the few basics of the continuous integration and continuous delivery. What are its concepts, and a quick overview over CI and CD. And then followed by, we'll study about the components, the different components of a CI/CD pipeline. And then we will also look at some of the benefits of implementing the CI/CD into your organizations per se. And also we will be looking at some of the popular CI/CD tools that are currently used and are available in the market. And then we will showcase a live video demonstration of Bamboo framework for the CI and CD implementation. And then we'll have a quick Q&A. If you have any questions, you can please post it on the chat. So let's try and understand what is continuous integration and continuous delivery. So before I talk about these continuous integration and continuous delivery, it's important that we understand the market trend when it comes to technology, how the technology is growing in today's world. So there has been an immense pressure across the different IT development stages, starting from the development stage as well as on the QS side. So there is a huge pressure to create the apps and release to the production at the earliest without compromising on the quality. So how are we achieving this? So traditionally we used to follow the waterfall model, and we are following the agile and the different waterfall models that are available. But however, to cope up with the requirement to release the software earlier to the market, we need some tools and concepts which can make the software delivery to the market at the earliest with good quality. So as we all understand, the technology is growing exponentially, and to be in the game, organizations have no choice but to technologically enabled. So when we talk about technology, basically means creating solutions that are faster, convenient, qualitative. And to keep up the highly demand technological dynamics, not only the human resource need to be equipped with the contemporaneous developments of this industry, but there is also a dire need of highly standardized process in order to deliver the top class results. So that's when the need of the DevOps emerges. We will not talk about DevOps in depth, though CI/CD is an integral part of DevOps, but we'll look at on a higher level. So right from the planning through the delivery, the idea of introducing DevOps is to maintain the quality streak by a systematic collaboration of development and automation across the continuous delivery and continuous integration. To make it simpler, there must be a convenient way to tackle the complicated scenarios without delays and for on-time delivery. Hence, the introduction of CI/CD tools makes it easier for the developers to streamline the development processes. So let's understand what continuous integration is. So continuous integration is a software development practice wherein the developers frequently make changes in the code and add it to the central repository, after which they have automated the tests. So CI is the integration stage of the software releases process, which depends on automation and constant integration. The main goal is to find the bugs and resolve the issue quickly to improve the software quality, and so that we reduce the time to market. In continuous integration, developers mainly focuses on the smaller commits several times a day. Developers pull the code from the repository before pushing it to the build server, where the build server runs on various tests to verify the code commit. And we talk about continuous delivery. CD is basically it's the natural extension of continuous integration, which is an approach in which the teams ensure that every change to the system is releasable and that we can release any version at a push of a button. So continuous delivery aims at to make the releases very faster so we can deliver frequently and get the fast feedback on what the users care about. So once you have the CI and CD in place, the deployable path, which is a unit path, is called a pipeline. When you talk about pipeline, it's a procedure. A pipeline is a procedure that is triggered when the code is committed to the repository hosted somewhere like GitHub. Next comes the notification to a build system, and the build system compiles the code and runs the unit tests. Now let's talk about the important components of a CI/CD pipeline. So there are various different stages in the components of the CI/CD pipeline. So in a CI/CD pipeline, the first thing that starts with the developer is to write the initial lines of code. The developer then commits these codes into a version control system, which is the first phase of the pipeline. As the linear workflow, the developers will commit new codes and push them to the version control system with an updated version tag. Next comes is the build stage. This build phase is triggered when the new codes are pushed to the repository. Because the initial codes are stored in small branches of the repository, the compiler will gather all the features of the codes and its dependents, then compile them into a new build altogether. Then comes the testing phase, where it comprises of multiple types of tests, with the most crucial one being is the unit test. So in the unit test, the test of the individual units of a product from its unit source code, and then followed by a different integration test as well as the system tests. And we talk about the deployment stage. Once the build has passed the test, they are moved to the deployment phase and then pushed into the test server. This phase allows developers to simulate the product in a production equivalent environment to examine and see the product features. The automation test phase will perform the final test to qualify the build features before they are deployed to the production. Automated and continuous testing is applied in this phase to utilize the builds and make sure that there are no bugs remaining. So throughout the pipeline, if you see, whenever there is an error, the feedback will be instantly sent to the development team so that the issues are immediately addressed. The code changes to fix the bugs will then go through the production pipeline once again. So after the codes or the product passed all the tests without defects, then move on to the production server in the final phase. See, there is a constant feedback loop, helps make the pipeline a closed process where the builds are continuously committed, tested, and deployed to production. So this is the generic in terms of when we talk about the CI/CD pipeline. So this may differ when it comes to mobile and web. So when we are adapting this CI/CD for a web, And what is the process when we adopt this CI/CD pipeline for mobile? So there is a slight difference in it, which needs to be understood. The deployed code for web apps runs in browsers, while the deployed code for the mobile apps runs in the various versions of the devices and the operating system, such as the Android and iOS. And also, when we talk about the tools and the technologies that are used for developing mobile apps are different from the ones that are used for web apps. The websites can be built by various web technologies like the Java, the Ruby, and the JavaScript, while mobile apps are built using the language like Swift, Kotlin, JavaScript, or Dart. Another major difference is the code signing, which is mandatory for the development of mobile apps. However, when we talk about mobile web apps, most of the mobile web apps doesn't require any code signing. So there are some limitations or process a different change when it comes to web CI/CD pipeline and when we are adapting the CI/CD to mobile apps. So next, if we try to understand the CI/CD pipeline, how it is in case of mobile apps, the CI/CD pipelines are a bit complex, or maybe they require some extra steps like, as I just mentioned, the code signing, or even publishing the app to the Apple Store or the Google Store. And more often, the mobile CI/CD pipelines requires the build automation tools. There are a variety of and available in the build automation tools that are available in the market, which can be used for the build automations, such as the Fastlane or the Gradle for iOS and Android exploratory. So this is the basic difference that we see when it comes to applying the CI/CD for web versus mobile. Now, when it comes to automating the build processes, so the end of the result of the app building process should be generating the build artifacts. In case of iOS, it should be the app or the .ipa file, and in the case of Android, it's just an APK file. So when we are setting up the CI/CD pipelines for mobile explicitly, we should use relevant tools to build the mobile apps. Now let's try and understand. Let's see some of the benefits of implementing the CI/CD pipeline. When you talk about some of the benefits when we are applying the into the CI/CD for mobile apps, we see various different benefits like reducing cost. So the automation in the CI/CD pipeline reduces the number of errors that can take place in many repetitive steps of CI and CD. And doing so also frees up the developer time that could be spent on product development, as there are many code changes to fix down the road if there is a code quickly. So another thing to keep in mind is increasing the code quality with automation also increases the return on investment, that is ROI. And we talk about the reliability. Using CI/CD, the test reliability improves due to the byte size and specific changes introduced to the system, thus allowing for more accurate positive and negative tests to be conducted. Test reliability with CI/CD can also be considered continuous reliability, with the continuous merging and releasing of new products and features, knowing that the quality was top of mind throughout the entire process, and this will assure the stakeholders their investment is worthwhile. And when we talk about the smaller code changes, the big technical advantage of implementing the CI/CD to your everyday software development process is that it allows you to integrate small pieces of code at one time. These code changes are simpler and easier to handle than huge chunk of code, and such as having fewer issues that maybe need to be prepared at a later date. So using continuous testing, these small pieces can be tested as soon as they are integrated into the code repository. allowing the developers to recognize a problem before too much work is completed afterward. This works really well for the large development teams who work remotely, as well as those in house, as a communication between the team members can be challenging. And the other benefit is of incorporating the CI/CD pipeline into your organization is the development process reduces the number of non-critical defects in your backlog. So these small defects are detected prior to production and fixed before being released to end users. So the benefits of solving non-critical issues ahead of the times are more. Say for example, your developers have more time to focus on larger problems or improving the system, and your testers can focus less on the small problems so they can find larger problems before being released. And another benefit, perhaps the best one, is keeping your customers happy by preventing them from finding many errors in your product. The other benefit when we talk about implementing CI/CD is the faster release rate. The failures are detected faster and as such can be repaired faster, leading to increasing release rates. However, frequent releases are also possible if the code is developed in continuously moving system. The CI/CD continuously merges the code and continuously deploys them to production after thorough testing, keeping the code in the release ready state. So it's important to have as a part of a development, deployment, production environment setup that closely mimics, which end users will ultimately be using. Maybe containerization is a great method to test the code in a production environment to test only that area that will be affected by the releases. So CI/CD also reduces the mean time to resolution, which is MTTR. So this MTTR basically measures the maintainability and repairable feature and sets the average time to repair a broken feature. Basically, it helps you track the amount of time spent to recover from a failure. So the CI/CD reduces the MTTR because the code changes are smaller and the fault isolations are easier to detect. One of the best important business risk assurance is to keep failures to a minimum and quickly recover from any failures that do happen. Application monitoring tools are a great way to find and fix failures while also logging the problems to notice the trends faster. And we talk about fault isolations. Basically, this refers to the practice of designing systems such that when an error occurs, the negative outcomes are limited in scope, right? So limiting the scope of problems reduces the potential for damage and makes the system easier to maintain. So designing your system with CI/CD ensures the fault isolations are faster to detect and easier to implement. So fault isolations combine the monitoring the system, identifying when the fault is occurred, and also triggering its location. Thus, the consequence of bug appearing in the applications are limited in the scope, and sudden breakdowns and other critical issues can also be prevented from occurring with the ability to isolate the problem before it can damage to the entire system. So that's about some of the benefits of implementing the CI/CD pipeline. Now let's look at some of the popular CI/CD tools that are used. There are different tools that are available in the market when it comes to the CI/CD tools, like Bamboo, which is more commonly used, which is an used for the CI/CD achieving the goals here. And the other tools like Jenkins, Circle CI, the GitHub, the Travis CI. These are some of the most used popular CI/CD tools. The list is huge. You can find it over the net. You can find more some of the tools that are widely used. There are some open source tools as well as some proprietary tools. So it all depends on what is the organization need and how best you want to implement the CI/CD. So it's very important aspect to how you are choosing the CI/CD tools for your organization, considering the amount of investment that you are also investing. When it comes to open source, Jenkins is mostly commonly used for achieving the CI/CD perspective. So when we talk about these different CI/CD tools, the one among in today's discussion will be talking more about the Bamboo, which is a continuous integration and continuous deployment software, which is written in the Java, and it also supports some other languages and technologies like CodeDeplay, Docker, Maven, Git, SVN, and so on. So the tool performs automatic build, testing, and also deployments. And thus it saves time and also allows the developer some extra time to focus on the strategic aspects of the product. When we talk about the key features of Bamboo, right? So where we can see this Bamboo can build, can test, it can also deploy multiple projects simultaneously. And in case of any build failure, it provides the analysis and also the failure reports. The current status of the build and the server status can be monitored with the help of REST API, which is being provided by Bamboo. And it basically supports the testing tools like JUnit, Selenium, PHP Unit, and so on. And it is pretty much compatible with Jira and also Bitbucket. So Bamboo is related to other products like Jira, Confluence, and Clover by Atlassian that allows the developers and other team members to be at the same page. And it can also import the data from Jenkins. So that's about Bamboo and some of its important features. We'll talk about Jenkins as well, since it's open source and is being mostly used to achieve the CI/CD in the DevOps journey. So when you talk about Jenkins, it's an open source automation server where the central build and the continuous integration process takes place. The program is the Java-based self-containing program with the packages for Windows, Mac OS, and Jenkins, etc. It mainly supports the construction, the deployment, and automation of software development projects by providing hundreds of plugins. When we look at some of the important key features of Jenkins, it is very easy to install and also upgrade to various different operating systems. The UI is very simple and easy to use. So anybody who is new to Jenkins can quickly start setting up Jenkins very easily on their own. And it is extensible with a huge community-based plugin resource. And when it comes to configuration, the configuration too is very straightforward and easy. And it since is the user interface is pretty simple and very easy. And it also supports the distributed, wherein the master and the slave architecture builds. And it builds schedules based on the phrases. And it also supports the notifications of the build status. Okay. Now, there are a few more CI/CD pipelines that we will not be discussing in depth. We'll spend some time on the demonstration of Bamboo, wherein we will be showcasing a video, a demo which has been pre-recorded, wherein we have configured the Bamboo with our pCloudy platform, which is a mobile test platform for functional and automation testing. So we'll showcase how to configure the Bamboo and upload an app to the server in the pCloudy server, and then trigger an automation test. Hence, we achieve the uploading of the app and then followed by the execution of automation script. So that we will see in a quick moment. So let's try and understand the Bamboo framework for the CI/CD. So before we jump to the demo, let me talk about the prerequisites which is required to set up the Bamboo on your machines. So the prerequisite includes the Java Development Kit version 8 and above, and we'll also be needing the Android SDK, which will be of latest version, followed by the Bamboo exe. So you can also download this Bamboo setup file and install it on your machines. So we have provided some quick barcode scanner wherein you can scan and quickly install it on your machine. So now let me quickly jump into the video demo where I will be showcasing the configuration of the Bamboo setup. We will be uploading an app, an APK file, which we have into the pCloudy platform. And then we will be triggering a test, automation test, which will be using the same app which we have uploaded into the Bamboo instance through the Bamboo instance, and the automation would be triggered very soon after that. And we will see the results of it, how you monitor the results at the end of the test. So let me quickly jump to the video demo. Okay, I have configured the Bamboo on my machine. So as you just seen on the previous slide, wherein you have some prerequisites that needs to be followed. So once you have set up all the required prerequisites for the Bamboo setup, you install the Bamboo on your local machine, and you start with the configuration. So let me start with the configuration of the Bamboo setup. I'm logging in here as a quick for the Bamboo instance once the Bamboo server setup is installed successfully on my machine. And I have created a project already. So for the benefit of the time, so creation of project, it's pretty straightforward. Once you launch the Bamboo, so you have to create a plan wherein you will be creating a project. So these are the different projects that are created. So to create a project, the user has to click on the create icon here and click on create project and just follow the process. I have configured a test here, a project called Authenticate Token API, wherein I have configured the test, so that I can upload the APK file, which is residing in my local machine, to the cloud server. So we are using pCloudy here since it's an mobile test platform. So let me configure how the configuration takes place here. Okay, if I go to the stages here in the default job, I have added some tasks here. It talks about the script configuration basically, wherein we are providing the path of the script file. As you can see here, there is a path here where I am showcasing where my file is located. Okay, since the API files are exposed, so we have exposed from pCloudy, wherein you can use those API to upload your app. So there are various different ways of doing it, of course. So we are using, we have created a small file by Python, wherein which calls the upload API access file, and then followed by we are also authenticating. So we have written a small file, and that is stored in this particular location. So now when I just talk about the file, right? So the upload job, the Bamboo. So where we have written a small, Python script, where there are two different processes in it. Wherein first we are authenticating the code from the pCloudy server, right? So it's a curl command wherein which has details like the username of the user for the pCloudy, and this is the API key access for so there will be a unique API key access for every individual user, followed by the cloud URL. So in this case, since we are using pCloudy as a mobile test platform, so we are inputting the URL here, and we are using this API access. So this is available in our pCloudy platform. And once the API key is authenticated, what we are doing is we are also uploading the file, so which is available in my local machine, which is nothing but an APK file in this case for Android. I have placed my APK file in this location, and this will upload the file into the pCloudy server. So all this happens once we run this automation from the Bamboo setup. Now let me just go to the setup and talk about the other aspect of executing the test script. So once the script is upload the file, basically the APK file is uploaded into the Peak Cloudy server, the next phase is to do the automation. So to do that, so what we have done is within the same project, I have created another project, so which I am calling in from the same project. If you can see in the dependencies tab, I have created one test which talks about the automation script. So if I quickly open the tasks in the script, I can see the script configurations that I have done. Okay, if you can see here in this scenario, I am using the configuration here, so wherein I am running the test of an automation which is already created on my APM client, and the script in the script body we are passing the location, right? As you will notice, this is the script location, and we are running through this Maven. Okay, now we are pretty much good, and by we have configured the plan, we are trigger. So let's trigger the plan and see how this functions. And parallelly, I can also just log into the pCloudy platform just to showcase how the application looks like. So this is the my app data, and as you can see, there are various different applications that are uploaded on this platform. So this is my app data is basically a cloud locations where we are going to upload the app through Bamboo. So as you can see, the Big Basket APK wherein we are using, so that will be uploaded now. So let's quickly run this. Okay, the execution has just begun, and meanwhile, while this is just yet executing, I'll just like to showcase the script, the automation script that that will be triggered very soon after the application, the APK file is uploaded into the pCloudy server. So we are using Eclipse here, and for an APM client, and this script is developed on TestNG framework. So it's a small sample script that we have developed, which is capability based, wherein we have integrated this with the pCloudy platform. So there is a 6-line of piece of code that needs to be, so once you have the 6-line of piece of a code from the pCloudy platform, we are pretty much done with the integration. Wherein this has, the details about the username, we have the API key and the application name that we are uploading, and the duration in minutes, for how long will I run this execution for. So once we have these capabilities, basically where we are initializing the driver and then followed by a small test case. The second part wherein we are, creating a small test case of an application. This will perform some basic operations on the application, and then we will quit the driver. So this is the script that will be executed once the file is uploaded in the pCloudy server. So let's go back and see the execution, how is it happening in the real time. Okay, so I have just triggered the build. So now the build should start at any point of time. Okay, if I just go to the pCloudy server here, I can see the application. Since this is a recorded one, if you would have noticed, it's on August 3rd, and if you would have noticed, the time is 11:42 a.m. Now the build is in progress currently. Now parallelly, if I want to just validate if my app, the APK file is uploaded, I can just quickly just go and see here. So as you would have noticed, the automation trigger has just begun, and we will be able to see the automation in live, what exactly is happening on the particular device. You can also go back to the log section here to see the various logs that are directly coming in. Okay, you can understand the statuses of the build, various parts of a different pipeline. In the first part of the phase where we uploaded the file, and then in the second phase where we have triggered the build. So as you would have noticed, the automation has just began. All right, so as you can see in the live view, So the automation has been performed on one of the Samsung devices. Okay, the execution got just ran on successfully on this build. You can also go to the all reports tab. Once the execution is completed, in case if you want to see the report, so we are also giving the live reports, the add-on report for automation perspective, where this will give details about the automation scripts when it comes to the performance metrics like the CPU chart, the memory chart. CPU, when you talk about CPU, it's pretty much about the user CPU, the system CPU, and as well as on the application CPU side. And we have memory chart, which talks about pretty much about memory, and battery chart, which talks about the battery consumption by device as well as the application, and frame rendering time, how long, what is the rendering time, how long it took to render from one screen to another screen. And we are also giving the network chat when it comes to the upload and the download speed. We're also providing the comprehensive performance raw data. So in case if you want to create your own performance, if you want to create your own graphs, all right, so you can pretty much use all these different performance metrics, the performance raw data that we are showcasing. And of course, we are also providing the logs when it comes to the device logs. The entire device logs will be captured in a text file, which we can be used for further debugging purpose. And we are also providing the APM logs and APM standard error logs in case if you want to understand more about if you want to see during the debugging process. And snapshots we are not providing in the automation perspective, because whatever the customized reports that you have developed within your own automation framework will be available in your own APM client on your local machine. And we're also providing the the video. The entire session has been recorded in the form of video, wherein you can use that video to to see how the automation just performed. So this is the typical a flow how we configured the Bamboo. Similarly, you can also use various different CI/CD servers that are available, like Jenkins or Circle CI or Travis CI. So there are many, right? So depending on the various different configurations, you can pretty much use it, and you can use any of your cloud device. So in our case, we have used pCloud as a platform, since it supports both functional as well as automation testing. So in this use case, we were able to configure the plan where we uploaded the file to the pCloud server, and then followed by we triggered an automation test, right? So basically, which is written on the test-ng framework. So we ran the script, automation automated. So it was a part of a pipeline. The two different jobs that were run one after the other, uploading the file and then executing the script by running on one of the platform. So that's about how to configure the Bamboo setup by using the various different aspects that are available. Now I'd like to just talk about some other various tools that are available in the for when it comes to CI/CD perspective, right? Let me just go back. So we are pretty much done on and covering the various different tools and configured the Bamboo setup, showcasing how the build triggered by executing the CI/CD pipeline. So this is just one small example that we showcased. So in our we will be showcasing some of the in-depth technological aspects of how to integrate with various different CI/CD pipelines in live. We would like to show them live as well in upcoming webinars. So with that, I will just quickly open up for question and answers. If you have any, we can probably discuss on these questions. So let me see if I have any questions. Okay, there are some questions which are that are coming in. I would like to just take them one by one. Okay, there is one question from a user, Amit. It says how to select the best CI/CD tool for the mobile app development needs. Okay, very good question, Amit. Thank you so much for asking. So there are various aspects to be considered, as I was discussing during my earlier demos. I mean, during my presentation. All right. So there are few aspects that needs to be considered. All right. So like first of all, we have to decide about whether if you are going with proprietary software as an open source. So on this basis of context, you can pretty much decide on which tool, whether if you want to go with an open source tool or whether you want to go with a pre-proprietary tool, right? So, and also you have to consider the from the cost fitment, the budget, whether if it is fitting. So most of the organizations are okay and happy with the open source tools which are available in the market, and there are a large number of community around each of the open source CI/CD tools. So depending on the organizational budget, you can pretty much decide whether if you want to go with proprietary or open source. Of course, the proprietary software has its own advantage, wherein you get the support 24/7 and also some other futuristic advantages. And the second aspect is whether to check if it is in the cloud or self-hosted, how you want to host this CI/CD tool. So if you are willing to host the CI/CD service yourself, and and you have time and resources for setting it up, then you can pretty much use it. You can configure and maintain it by yourself, right, with the self-hosted services. But of course, that comes again with the investment of time and resources. However, if you are looking for crossing of build infrastructure maintenance of the workplace, then you can pretty much go with the software as a service solution. And when we talk about the third aspect is how easy is of when it comes to setting up. So a frictionless adoption of CI/CD is the basically the secret behind everybody's on board. So going with the tool that makes a lot of time in setting up can backfire your intention, and also when it comes to choosing the approach. So I would suggest to have a analysis on these three factors, and then you can pretty much decide on which CI/CD tool that you are looking in for. Okay, thank you. I hope I have answered your question, Amit. Okay, so some other questions that are coming in. Let me just take this question. Okay, so there is one question. What is the difference of the mobile CI/CD versus the web CI/CD? How different it is, and what are the limitations towards it? Okay, very good question, Aniket. Thank you for asking. So there are various aspects to it. Okay, when we talk about the basic fundamental remain same when we talk about the CI/CD process for web as well as mobile. But however, there are some differences. When it comes to implementing the CI/CD for both web as well as and the mobile. We discussed during my earlier part of presentation, where I was talking about the different components of the CI/CD when it comes to mobile as well as the web, right? So let me just quickly talk about that again. So when we talk about the differences, the major difference what we see here is when it comes to the deployment, when you deploy the code for web apps, basically that runs on the browsers, while the deployed code for mobile apps runs in the various devices and operating systems, right? Like for example, Android and iOS. And when we talk about the tools and technologies, yes, of course, there is a difference in it. So for mobile, for websites, that they'll be basically built by various web technologies like the Java, the Ruby, and the JavaScript. But for mobile apps, they are built using some languages which are explicitly like Swift, Kotlin, JavaScript, or the Dart. And the other important, the difference is the code signing. All right. So as I was discussing, code signing is something which is mandatory for the deployment of mobile apps. So, but there are most of the web application that does not require any coding. And if I talk about another major difference is that in web deployments they are basically a push type, wherein the once the code is pushed to the production and the users accept all the deployment changes, whatever the code is being pushed by the developers. But however, in mobile deployments, they are of pull type, right? So push type and pull type. So this is the major difference in mobile deployments, which are basically a pull type, which has wherein you have to submit an app to the App Store for a review, either an App Store or Google Store. Excuse me. So the Apple or Google Store will review the app once you have deployed, before it goes to the end user. So once the app is released, of course, the mobile apps needs to be explicitly updated by the users. So that is one of the major difference that we can see here when it comes to mobile versus web for CI/CD implementation. And I cannot say this as a limitation, but yes. So when you compare it with mobile and web, it is a limitation since it's a pull type, and the mobile apps cannot be achieved continuous deployment. So however, you can achieve the continuous delivery still is possible on the mobile apps front. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, I hope I have answered your query, Aniket. Okay, we have some more time. We can take some more questions if we have. So let me just take few more. Okay, there is another user asking, we are, her name is Sheetal, asking for, we are new to the CI/CD pipeline. How do we start with? Currently, we are using the waterfall approach, wherein once the application is deployed, once the application is developed, is being tested by a different testing team altogether, and we have seen huge amount of time is being invested. Okay, and fair enough, good question. So yeah, you're right. So traditionally, since if there are still many organizations who are still following the waterfall approach, wherein they are developing the application, different methodologies they are using, and one such is the waterfall model, wherein after each stage of development of the software, it goes to another. So there is a huge amount of time, and also there's a huge amount of investment, right? So when if you talk about the CI/CD, which basically is an integral part of DevOps. So DevOps is something where you can typically start up with. So there are various different tools. Every organization has their own way of implementing DevOps. All right. So there are various tools in the market. So of course you have to do a bit of study on on the DevOps, how DevOps can be implemented from the scratch. Right. Start from the planning to deployment and also the releases. So there are various different stages in the DevOps. So one such process is the CI/CD, which we spoke about. So it's important to understand each and every processes of DevOps, and and also select the tools. Right. Of course, this has to come from the top management sides. There has to be a mutual discussion. If the organization is really ready to adopt the DevOps process, and wherein they can implement the DevOps and use it for their, for the software development life cycle. So CI/CD is one process which we were discussed. I hope this give you some insight about what CI/CD is and how you can really use it. But of course, CI/CD is not just DevOps. There are various aspects as I was just discussing. So you need to understand all the different processes, and do a study and understand the your organization requirement, how what is your release cycle, and and how you want to implement this, right? So if you are looking to for a faster release, then of course with the better quality, then of course DevOps is the solution for it. Okay, so there are various articles that are published in the internet. So we have also published a few for adopting DevOps when it comes to mobile. So you can probably check on that, so you'll get some idea about it. I hope I have answered your question. Okay, so there are some more questions that are coming in. There are few which are not are relevant to this. I will not be able to take those questions. And however, there are some questions which I would like to answer one-on-one for the benefit of the time. So I think I'm pretty much done from the Q&A perspective. So once again, thank you everyone for making time and joining in this session. I hope this session gave you some insights about the continuous integration and continuous delivery when it comes to mobile apps as well as on the web perspective. So I look forward for you. In case if you have any queries, you feel free to us, free to reach to us. You can directly drop an email to us. In case if you have any queries, we'll be happy to assist you. So we will look forward for further sessions, which we will be discussing more about in-depth technology on the DevOps perspective, since we have received some questions which are mostly on DevOps. So that will help you understand from the the technological per se. So with that, I conclude this webinar. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day.